In our world of creating and building our own businesses, we create and experience a lot of highs and lows with money, emotions, people, stress levels, self doubt, even burnout. And you'll often hear that success starts with your mindset. We've said it countless times on this show, and it's the single theme shared by our hundreds of guests. Business success is about you, it's the you in your business. In this highlight show, we've pulled together some great sound bites from our guests in season 5 so far, and regardless of the varying areas of expertise they're from, they all agree as an entrepreneur, we get to decide how successful we're going to be. When one highlight intrigues you, tap in and listen to that full episode on YouTube or right here on your pod app. We love having you as our loyal follower. Please subscribe and like us. That would be wonderful. Enjoy. We're your co-hosts, Vicky and Laura, and this is the Resilient Entrepreneurs Podcast, the ultimate guide for ambitious business founders and startups. Hear from business heroes who've faced unexpected challenges as we unpack how they slayed their dragon and reignite your instinct to conquer your dragon. Episode 106, Dr. Nikisha Hammond. Be your first priority and business will thrive.
So there's plenty of research studies that show how mindset is linked to cancer and diabetes and high blood pressure and all these different chronic health issues, because when you're not managing the stress that's going on in your brain, in your mindset, it can physically attack you in your body. There's a whole 3-hour discussion we could have on that, but it really is all linked. But to me, the umbrella of everything is your mindset. The same thing with managing your emotions emotionally, or the same thing with having whatever spiritual journey that you may be on. Like, everything is linked to your mindset. Where do you start off? How do you start your day? Are you being intentional with your thoughts?
Episode 112, Rashid Mubashir, a masterclass on perspective, pain, and progress as an entrepreneur.
I think this is super important for entrepreneurs, because a lot of people who want to become entrepreneurs think that I will become an entrepreneur when I don't feel the fear. Whereas entrepreneurship is about taking the risk despite of the fear, in spite of the fear. It's about learning how to have that fear and do what you must do anyway. And so I think the same thing plays out in the average mindset, which is, I'm afraid I've got this little bit of money and there's not enough of it in the world. So if I take risk, I am going to lose it and I can't do that. That's the average mindset that I normally notice in people, that they hold on to instead of learning, which is the opposite, which I think where we must go, which is where abundance and wealth is created, which is to learn that money is it's nothing more than a resource. It's an energetic phenomena.
Episode 108, Ernesto Mandowski. Are you overwhelming your business? Stop now.
Because I'll say, hey, what are your goals? And you'll start like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this event. I want to do this. It's like 8 goals. And then it's like, cool. So what projects are you working on? Well, I'm going to these 18 trade shows and 17 podcasts, and I'm building a website at my lead magnet, and I have 10 clients. And it's like, Notion's not overwhelming. Teams isn't overwhelming. You're overwhelming.
Episode 105, Leanne Lai Lakaba. What not to do when hiring your VA.
A first step of knowing what you need to be delegating in the first place. Like, for a lot of people, they just delegate the most painful things. Like, I've seen so many people just delegate sales, and I'm like, no, that's how you ruin your business, and then blame your assistant for not doing it right.
Episode 102, Elizabeth Ice. Hey, startup founder, what's the ROI on your time?
Now, I advocate a kind of dip your toe in the water approach. Don't try to outsource it all. Like, what are the 2 to 3 to 5 things that are absorbing the most amount of your time? And then that's who you should focus on finding as the person that can relieve those things, because it's going to free you up to focus on whatever you do, the idea you're nurturing, the clients you're trying to serve. And the more time you have to do that, the more creative you get about adding value. And one thing leads to another. I mean, sometimes that involves a leap of faith that, yeah, I'm going to hire somebody to outsource these functions and I'm going to figure out a way to pay for it. But at the end of the day, if you don't do that, you never scale.
Episode 103, Mick Aldea, Funalytics founder. Online sales secrets.
I actually would discourage most people from being entrepreneurs because entrepreneurship is not an easy game, right? Entrepreneurship is not your 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship is not I can clock out as soon as I collect my paycheck and be able to chill and watch Netflix. And like, it's really tough and it gets harder as you kind of keep leveling up. Maybe you solve the financial problem. Great. Now you got an operational problem. Maybe you solve the operational problem. Great. Now you got a scaling problem, right? There's new problems all the time.
Episode 109, Colleen Slaughter. What you didn't know about being an entrepreneur.
I used to have this distorted notion that entrepreneurs who are really wealthy, right, who've been really successful in their businesses, that somehow they just clicked and all of a sudden things came. Now, that might be the case for a small percentage, but I've been really lucky I've also chosen to ask for help from very successful people. And in all cases, all of them talk about backing up and punting, having periods, winter periods, having periods in their business where things weren't working either. And so that's that whole stay the course, but also being loyal to the vision they want to create. And so I do what they do.
Episode 104, Jonathan Clark. Your business will fail if you don't do this.
None of us have like business background, and most people don't unfortunately have people in their families or friends that own 7-8 figure businesses. They just don't. And so you start off a lot like kind of on this island. And so it took us 5-6 years to get where we are. And I said, well, how can I help somebody save 5 years of their life if I can just impart some knowledge and some wisdom?
Episode 113, Pam Buchanan. What I learned working alongside Elon Musk.
I got to sit in rooms with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and discuss how they started their company. So that's why I feel like I can start my own company as well. And really anyone can, because yes, are they brilliant? Absolutely. There's no question about it. But what they really have is that grit and that endurance. I'm going to do something different and I'm going to keep going. And that's what they did. That is what they did. That's what separates them from the people that stand on the sidelines who say, I wish I could have done that.
Episode 107, Jason Vanderveer. Dreams versus goals. How to achieve both in business.
I feel like now it's more figuring out, getting very clear on where we want to go. The first couple steps, having a somewhat high-level plan of the middle steps isn't a bad thing. I think that's good, but just trust it's going to get clear as you start going. I'll tell my clients, and I rant about on my podcast all the time, action brings clarity. It's like, just take one step, the next one will be way clear. Action brings clarity.
Episode 111, Donna Amelia. How to build your dream business.
However, let me tell you a story. So I met my now husband in Indonesia. I fell in love with him and he took me to holiday overseas in Vietnam. And until now, I'm not coming back to Indonesia, meaning that I live overseas already for 9 years. Back then, I'm still a TV presenter, actress, singer, and all. And then we moved to Ho Chi Minh City. I thought, okay, no worries. I can still do all these things, right? Like being TV presenter, actor, actress, and so on. And guess what? I can't speak the language so hard. Yeah, of course, Vietnamese is not easy language, right? So then, wow, that's hit me hard because I built up my career from senior high school, really coming from adversity. I built up brick by brick. And then now I just lost it like that. And then I don't know how to speak the language and all. But then I'm thinking, all right, so if I can't be the TV presenter or actress here, so what can I do?
Episode 110, Jean-Francois Lapaz. Find your purpose in business through vulnerability.
Well, this is about love, right? This is about loving yourself, loving every part of you, including the parts that feel yucky. And once you do that, then you're able to be vulnerable and open up, and you're able to love others better because you understand they're fundamentally going through the same thing. And then you become more resilient. Boom. Full circle.
Resilience is love. End of story.
Resilience is love. There we go. Actually, that's brilliant. That's such a pithy way of putting it because it's true. Resilience is like the opposite of shutting down and putting up walls. It's about opening up and caring for yourself and caring for others.